Welcome to Basic Excel session number 4. In this session, we will look at name ranges, data validation, vlookup, and match formula. Alright, let's begin. A name range is basically a name given to a range or ranges of cells. In this case, I want to actually give Jan, February, and March a name range of month. So what I'm going to do is highlight the cells, go to Formulas, Name Manager, click on New. I'm going to type in month, click OK. So there you go. So just wanted to make a note here. You can't actually choose a name range for any of the Excel cell names. So if you can't have M2 for a range because it already exists as a name of a cell. Okay. Now that we have our name range, we're going to create a summary sheet. I'm going to click New Sheet here, right-click, rename, Summary. And I want someone to be able to select a relevant month, so I'm going to write Select a month. I'm going to hover in between the two cells, double-click to auto-size. And I want to actually format this to be a light yellow. And I'm going to add a border. Okay. Now we actually need to add the data validation, which is essentially a drop-down. So I'm going to click on Data, Data Validation, and under the Settings tab over here, I'm going to select List equals month. There you go. So now you see the name range that we previously defined showing up here with all the months that we want. I'm going to copy the item list here, so I'm just going to do copy and paste. We can do Control C and Control V as well. Now I'm going to call this my monthly summary. Again, I'm going to hover between D and E, double click to auto size. Now you can use the Format Painter in Excel, basically under the Home tab. I'm going to highlight this and click the Format Painter. What it does is it copies the formatting and you can just paste it in here. This way you don't have to select the border, select the font, etc. You can just copy the formatting as is. So now we're going to add our vlookup formula. But before I do that, I'm actually going to select a month. Let me select February. Okay. So I'm going to equals vlookup. I'm going to select this lookup value, and my table array is going to be here. Function F4 here to lock it. What you need to be aware is that your lookup value and your table array, the value you're looking up should be on the leftmost part of the table array. So since the items are what we're looking at, you can notice that column B is items, and so C7 is also an item that we're looking up within that table array. I'm going to select the column index, and I selected February, which is the third column in that table array. So it's 1, 2, 3 for February. And the match type I'm going to do is an exact match because I really want to look up groceries and I want to pull up the groceries data. The only time we are concerned with putting a true value in that vlookup is if you're doing any kind of lookup with numbers that don't have an exact match. And that's a bit more advanced topic, and we can discuss it at a later session. Alright, so I'm going to do that and autofill this down, and I'm going to add the currency here. Alright, so this is great, but what happens if I change my drop down? nothing really changes here, which is kind of sad because I actually wanted to have the ability to dynamically change this information. So what I'm going to do now is show you how to use a function called match. Okay, I'm going to build the match function here so you can have a look at what it looks like first. So I'm going to match the month, and I'm going to F4 that to lock it completely. And I'm going to select my lookup array, which is there. And your lookup array here is the same thing as your table array, but just the header columns is what you need. And there you go. And I'm going to choose exact match again because I'm looking up the month and it's a text, so I want the exact value to be returned. So 0 for exact match. Close parentheses and enter. So I get 4. So you can see here that in this range, March is the 4th position. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If I was to change that to, say, February, it would return 3. It's 1, 2, 3. Makes sense. There we go. So now that I have my match function working, I can actually now replace my hard-coded value here with the match function. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy that, right-click and copy, and just going to paste, enter. Again, you can do Control-C and Control-V as well. There we go. I'm just going to delete that. Okay, so now you'll notice as we change things along, our information changes because now we're dynamically changing the column. And you notice, for example, B5 to E9 and then B5 to E5. So these are also aligned together. So it works perfectly that way. Now what happens if I was removing my selection here and I'm removing everything, so not selecting anything right there? I get the NA error. Something to note is that both the vlookup formula and the match formula return an NA when they can't find a value in that range. So a way to fix this issue is a built-in function, and it's available in 2007 and 2010 as well, is the iferror function. Iferror, and you can just add a value if there's an error, which is just a blank cell. I just want to return double quotes there, enter. There we go. So now you see, as we select the month, we get the information we need. And if nothing's selected, it's a blank. So these are basically very useful concepts in understanding Excel, and this kind of concludes with the basic Excel sessions that I have on YouTube. If you have any questions, please respond to my YouTube video and I will answer any questions that you have. Thank you so much for listening and have a wonderful day.